Hello Newcastle Fans TV and welcome to another video. It's the first of three today and I'm ill. I've got swollen glands, I've got toothache and I've got a sore throat, but I'm going to crack on with it. My throat's not so bad now, so let's crack on with it. So the big news coming out of the club today is the retained list that Newcastle have officially announced. I always said I'll wait until it's official before I bring you any stories. So obviously the big two being Kevin Mbabu and Steven Taylor. So Kevin Mbabu has signed a new contract extension, a 2-year deal. He's delighted, as you can see on his screen there with his Twitter. He's absolutely delighted. I'm delighted. He's a very, very talented youngster. I remember watching him on his debut against Sheffield Wednesday when he come on for Dowliam at half-time where we got put out the cup, but he put in a solid performance at right-back. And then we had an injury crisis against Chelsea and he was played left-back and he outperformed, kept Pedro in his back pocket. So that's the motto that he's got. I think he's promising he can play anywhere across the back four. Personally, for me, I think his best position is actually centre-back, believe it or not. And funny enough, because Taylor is leaving, that there's an opportunity there for someone, unless Rafa goes out and buys someone. So, delighted for Kevin Mbabu, massive, massive prospect. I think he will go on to play on for Switzerland, or he could switch alliances and go and play for the Democratic Republic of Congo. So looking at the 4 players that Newcastle have officially signed, which is Mbabu himself. Macaulay Gillespie, which I'm delighted for because he can play centre-back and left-back. Again, this might be the perfect opportunity for him to be a squad player. Liam Smith, a central midfielder, and Tom Herdman, who's a big centre-forward, who's being offered a 1-year deal because he's had an injury-hit season. So good for them. Now, there's some other players who have been offered contracts as well. So the likes of Broccoli, Cameron, Gibson, the left-back, Pearson and Williams have been offered deals. The club are waiting for them to come back about news about them. And obviously the players that are leaving is just Taylor, Cobain, Johnson, Laidlaw, Pollock, Suddick. I'm a bit surprised Suddick's been left, and Trod. So they're the players who are officially leaving. So the big story being is obviously Steven Taylor, who is leaving the club. Now, he's had a lot of disrespect, I would say. I think he isn't the same player that he hasn't been from a few years back. You've got to remember, just in 2013, he was called up to the England side. This is only 3 years. So yes, he's had a huge decline in form. But you've got to remember, this lad is Newcastle through and through. And I'm actually slightly disappointed that he's leaving, not because of the playing staff. I would love to see Taylor come back at the club in the future as a coaching role. I would. I really would. If you look at just a couple of stats, which you'll see on your screen, if you just look at the minutes of the past 5 seasons, especially the last 3 now, you can see why he's leaving the club. Now, what is more ironic is actually Newcastle offered Taylor a 1-year contract, believe it or not. It's actually Taylor who turned down the deal. So it's on Taylor's accord that he's leaving. You see that he's got new ambitions, he's got new clubs, and you'll see on your screen now a couple of quotes from Benitez and Charney as well about Taylor. So I just want to quickly run you through a couple of things that personally my highlights for Taylor is for the wrong reasons. So in 2003, he signed his first professional deal. I remember this, thinking, oh, it's a local lad. I remember when he made his debut about a year later, and he come on for Andy O'Brien, and he also had a spell at right back for quite a period as well. And so I remember a young skinny lad coming through as well. 2005, remember the famous handball on the goal line. So Newcastle, that was the game that Boya and Dyer got sent off in the 3-0 defeat. And Taylor got sent off as well, so down to 8 men. The ball was, you would have seen it surely, the ball was on the line and Taylor goes, oh, like this, and falls to the floor like that and goes down. It was absolutely funny, the most funniest thing I've seen in a football pitch, I say James, for a very, very long time. You've got to remember as well, he was a regular for the under-21s. Do you remember him being injured against the Dutch, I think it was, in the under-21s, and he was injured and he was forced to take a penalty and he still scored it? That's another good memory I've got of him. He was also appointed England under-21 captain as well, so he's got leadership skills in there as well. And he's also come out and famously said, I'd rather go and collect stamps than put on a Sunderland shirt as well. So Geordie through and through, and as I've mentioned, he's already played. He's been called up to the England side in 2013 by Roy Hodgson. Although he didn't make appearances, he's been called up twice actually to England as well. So all in all, he's had 268 games, 15 goals, 33 yellow cards, 4 red cards, 29 under 21 caps. That's hard to say. He's got 1 England B cap as well, and he's had 2 senior call-ups, which unfortunately none of them led to caps. So all in all, it's probably the right decision to let Taylor go. If I'm being all honestly, now we've only got Mbemba, Lascelles, who I think are the future of those two. Colaccini, who doesn't know what he's doing, he could be off this summer. So effectively, I think we need 2 centre-backs, or we promote Gillespie and Mbabu as another centre-back. Let me know what you think on the retained list. Is it the right decision? I'm sure most of you will say it will be. I'm delighted for Mbabu as well. Just a quick note on the Rolando Aarons situation as well, because there were, even myself included, there was little doubt of whether he was under contract or not. So you'll see on your screens now that tweet that Newcastle actually officially announced that Aarons is under contract. There was serious threat that a lot of people, including myself, thought he was going to be a free agent. So I'm delighted for that. And that's also the case for Woodman as well. Okay, thanks for watching Newcastle Fans TV. See you later.